Either side of the Port Melbourne or Geelong, but speaking to David Dunbar, he wasn't too perturbed. They're down by 2 goals at half-time because they've been better in the third and fourth quarter. They really finished strongly, so they're going to try a few different things in midfield and hope that they can reduce this deficit.
And the second half gets underway. Street wins it down to Bartel, but his hand passes astray, and the Borough come up with the ball, and out of the middle, they've done well through Rose. Inside the 50, and whistle, and it's going to be a Geelong free. No, it's got to go back, and Foster will take it. Woolno.
Well, Bev O'Connor is Vice President of Melbourne. She might have Jared Fitzgerald line up for a spot there, Drew.
Well, he had a chance to apply for the job, didn't he? Spending 10 minutes in the studio with Bev.
Yeah.
No, a very impressive performance, though. The coaching effort.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, here's Foster, who's had a lot of it today. Daniel Foster, he's done well. Half back to half forward. Mensch in the middle of the pack. Couldn't take the mark. The hand pass away. Then the tap down to O'Brien. And the mark taken by Stephen Johnson. And he's 48 metres out from goal. Cross breeze right to left. Had a bit of rain earlier on, now bright sun. Johnson kicked 6 goals last round. An 18-year-old from Wangaratta, drafted last year to the Cats. Today, 2 shots at goal for 2 behinds. So a far cry from his previous round's performance. He hasn't really got onto this one, and it's swung severely left. Seymour takes the ball over the line for a throw-in.
It's amazing, Drew, isn't it, that the ball, we see a bit of the crowd there, the ball has been going to that pocket every time to the left, and yet players continue to put it there, don't they?
Quite a lot of the Cats senior players are here. Saw them at half-time. There's Gary Ablett running out of room and taken over the boundary line. Peter Riccardi, the miracle worker, is here today. David Clark, who gave it to Rico to win the game after the siren.
Well, they did win the game, but they didn't really win the game, did they? Because it was touched off the boot, wasn't it?
Well, so they say. I haven't seen the bloke's fingers. Leo Barry gets the hand pass away. They're scrambling their way out of defence here, the Borough. Beats McPherson over the boundary line. Now, this is a dangerous spot for Port Melbourne, though, because for this boundary throw-in, Geelong will have the ball in exactly the spot they want it to have a shot for goal.
He does better for Carlton, Drew, you know that?
I did once. Seriously, now I don't really.
No, but not in the year when they're going to win the wooden spoon. Oh, that's accidentally out of bounds on the full. He was a bit unlucky there, Josh Hunt. And a relieving kick for the Borough for O'Keefe, who went in the book earlier on.
He's reported for an incident against Carazzo, and Brent Evans drives to centre wing, Street in front. He's held as well, got one in the solar plexus. Advantage is paid. Raleigh did it well to keep it in front. O'Brien tried to find Johnson, they lose it. Evans trying to run over the line. Now, I suppose it went out. The umpire had a perfect view of that.
He must have played it out here in that first instance, of course, because after he handballed it, stayed in, Ross, is what you're pointing out, obviously.
It was. Here's Chambers, young ruckman, did well. David Johnson charging through. Get some support from teammate. So the Cats, they're second on the VFL ladder, half a game behind Box Hill. It's a tough game against Essendon tomorrow at the Box Hill City Oval. Port in 4th spot, trying to consolidate. Carazzo from 70 metres from goal, congested forward line, gives himself some room, looks for the options. Johnson leads short, that's ignored. Goes the attacking side, didn't leave the boot too well. Still a chance, Mensch. Can't quite gather. Chambers good. Ablett misses completely.
Well, you were cheering a bit early there, Ross.
I was.
I think you gave him a fright.
Yes, young Gary went back to the VFL last round, kicked 4 goals, had 33 possessions, and today just his 2nd game in the VFL. Man at the back takes the mark. Street. Carazzo put under pressure, and so his kick goes astray. Kirk Very high ball, spinning to centre wing. Sundquist in front, knocks the ball on. Alloy's there. Sundquist in after it. Umpire puts the whistle away here for a moment. Alloy overruns. McPherson's in there to get a tough ball out. That was a good period of play. McMahon, they get the ball out. Daffy gives chase. McGrath's after it. To Raleigh, who's been outstanding. Down the line, out of bounds. On the full, and the free kick to McPherson.
It's always interesting, that one, throwing the ball back to the player. How should you throw it back? Up in the air so it takes a long time?
Well, we've been playing 5.5 minutes in this third quarter for not one score. Mark here to Stevens. Now, he's not without a show here. 50 metres out, attacking side of the ground. Nearly needs to aim somewhere between the left goal and behind post to bring it back with the breeze. Scott Stevens, he's kicked one today. It gets away to the right. And a behind.
Don't know what the big moves are in midfield for Port, if they've made some. David Dunbar alluding to that. Foster to bring it in. From the northern end, breeze right to left. He's going to attack. Breeze got it, took it away from Street. Cotch it. Oh. Ryan Ablett doesn't fly, stays down. Oh, Hunt, but it gives it up. O'Keefe, not much pressure. Bangs up towards Alloy. The wind takes it into that defensive pocket again.
Well, it wasn't a bad result for Port because they had that ball gone another 5 metres. It was going to be marked by one of the Cats, but at least they got a throw in here. And from here, anything possible, Ross.
Yeah, Nick Daffy coming off for Phibbs, who kicked 5 last week for the Borough. Ryan Ablett being quiet. Stevens lost his footing. Kirk on his wrong foot. Didn't dispose of it correctly, I didn't think. McMahon. Now's a chance for Ablett.
Oh.
And one of his few minor scores for the season. He's got a very high strike rate.
Yeah, and he's lethal, isn't he, on that left boot, Roscoe? And he knows, too, he's shaking the head because he thinks that was one that I would normally kick. And that would have really broken the game.
We've not seen the best of him on television because he didn't get a goal on the day they played Werribee and Lockett played.
True. Just edging up there, get another goal and really gives them some hope.
Hunt with the kick in. Mighty kick too with a breeze. Straight, good mark. He's a tall Street too. And that's a good kick over the top. Woolno couldn't get there before the ball beats him out of bounds.
Well, that's a classic set play to Street on the kick in, isn't it, Drew? But the big bloke, Doyle, I think it was against him, has got to be able to get into the right spot to punch the ball back inside 50. And he was too far back then. He didn't even lay a glove on the ball.
Port have added 2 behinds in this quarter. There's a free kick to Mensch in ruck.
And there you see it. See, he missed the ruck, the contest prior to that, and then he gives away a free kick.
The Cats are scoreless in this quarter. From the defensive side of the ground, out in front of goal. Oh, here's a go. A rover wanted. O'Brien gives chase. Seymour does well. Held when he didn't have it. And Seymour will take the free kick. So they've come to a standstill in this quarter, the Cats. Led by 14 at quarter time and 12 points at half time. And they've played nearly 9 minutes of scoreless football in this third quarter. Mind you, it's not as though Port are surging at them. They've kicked just the 2 behinds this term.
Umpire Chamberlain certainly taking his time. Doyle, well, bounced in favour him. Couldn't get in the contest, but Martin gives the free away to Johnson. Just behind his mark, waste no time. Raleigh gets around his man with a kick right to the hot spot. McCarthy could only force it through.
Leo Barry now for Port. 11 points the margin. In short to McPherson. That can be dangerous, the short pass out of defence on a windy day, but it worked okay then. Gee, the umpires are paying a few free kicks in this term. Held when not in possession, and the Geelong player will take the free, Josh Hunt. Cats first pick in the draft in 2000, Hunt. Centering ball to Chatfield. Chatfield to centre half forward is good. And the mark taken by McCarthy.
Hunt, I suppose we'd have said in the old days, burly sort of player. Square as a rock.
So Matthew McCarthy, 2 goals in the second quarter. This for his third, right in front, 51 metres from goal, and he can kick a football. That is home. Well, that's as good as it gets on a windy day.
And have a look at that kick again. When we look at the goal square and look at Doyle, who's defending the goal square, I don't know what you think, boys, but when we get to see it, it astounds me that a bloke doesn't get himself in the right spot. Now look at where he is. See how he backs back and he runs into the pack, and he immediately can't contest. He's 2 metres or he's a metre off the line. He would be better coming from behind so that he can jump.
Start near the fence,
and
run into the field of play.
That's right. Get himself just into that spot. Other players can man the front. He was always going to get the distance, wasn't he, McCarthy?
Street
or close.
Found Riley beautifully. Another chance for the Cats. Johnson twists and turns. Kicks it, though, too far into that defensive pocket. Ryan O'Keefe looking to switch play. Matthews. Doyle's loose at half-back. Still loose. Matthews, he didn't see him, ignored him. See what the option's like. Kicks to a pack. But 6 went up. Dished out Matthews. O'Keefe. Kotchett. Oh, well done, Chatfield. Lucky Evans back to Kotchett and Evans. Did he know where? Yes, he did. Matthews, McMahon on a lead. Alloy, good spoil. Phibbs, oh, just grab him. He'll be holding the ball. Threw it out. Bit lucky. McPherson, Alloy, tackled by Ablett. Phibbs,
oh, chance.
Inside 50. McMahon got the kick away. No spoil. Carrazzo into the pocket. Out of bounds on full.
You are trying to get your tip over the line.
Oh, gee, I mean, if I don't, I'm so embarrassed. I think the people who are ahead of me in the tipping, scary. At least I've got Ken Gannon behind me.
Well, the woman leading it, Jane Levo, marking officer.
It's a worry.
Gergic with the kick a bit too long for his teammate there, and that was well played. And the ball kept in play by Evans.
Poor old boundary, wasn't sure what. It was like a herd of elephants bearing down on him. Get me out of there.
Phibbs did pretty well with his little hand pass to Evans too. 54-37, a 17-point lead to the Cats. Players looking into the sun from this boundary throw-in. Kick into the pack, smothered. O'Keefe thrown to the ground. McMahon, a hand pass away. Doyle paddles up the ground. McGrath, very popular with the Geelong fans. Bluey, they love him. And what a good kick it was to midfield. And the ball further afield from Stephen Johnson to the 50. Mensch, good use of the body. The hand pass, Gary Ablett gets the hand pass away. O'Brien has a week to set up for goal, and O'Brien kicks it.
Good work. And again, there, I mentioned it earlier, but Ablett looking sideways with the handball. It's the second time we've seen him do that. And I think, Drew, that's really encouraging. You know, there's a lot of pressure on Gary Ablett to kick goals and to excite the crowd, but he's just got to learn. He's got to be always doing those team things. He's got to make him play better footy. And you see him here. Once Mensch does good work too. Puts the bump out. Nice tackle on Ablett. Straight away he's thinking, can I bring someone else in who's in a better position? O'Brien's got a lot of time. Another good shepherd comes in, makes it easy. Good goal.
2 quick ones, 23 points in margin. Carrazzo inside 50. Ablett flew. Bartel. McCarthy to Chatfield. Chambers worked underneath it by Leo Barry.
So a big pack around this boundary throw-in. With the Cats in attack again, they could split this game wide open in this quarter. Gee whiz, clean possession there taken by Chambers. Haven't seen a lot of him today. Johnson can't keep it in. He might get a free kick here against O'Keefe. He will. Doesn't have the footy. And Stephen Johnson has this free kick. He'll be outside the playing surface, deep in the forward pocket, kicking into the teeth of the breeze from that side of the ground. So players offering leads all over the place, back out in front of goal. He gets one from David Johnson, no relation. Ablett!
Well, that was pretty smart, wasn't it? Cool as a cucumber, though, Ablett then marking from behind the pack. And that's kind of odd thing to do, isn't it? To go sideways into the corridor, indeed, but to a not a real tall. See how Ablett just hold his ground there. No temptation to go early. To just judge the flight of the ball.
Well, we've talked about the famous 3 Ablett cousins here today. So far, they're goalless. Will this be the first? To Gary Ablett Jr. He aims it right, and it stays right, and he's missed it.
Yeah, it's just a tricky breeze there. Throwing that ball into the pocket, so he allowed that time. Lo and behold, it didn't go. Didn't move.
Just look at the Geelong goal kickers this year. Johnson and Mensch each 22, McCarthy, O'Brien each 18. So they got 4 major goal kickers. McPherson. Long looking for Roberts Thompson, 30. Nick Gill saw the tackle coming, had support in McMahon. Run down by Chatfield, advantage. Raleigh.
Did he tackle him?
No, there was a play on. He didn't complete a tackle at all.
No, I mean, we might see that again just to make a judgment.
Bartell, Johnson.
He bowled him over is all he did.
Brushes aside Evans. Inside 50, Chambers in front. Good spoil of the back by Leo Barry. Anstey at the full. Ablett's got it. Receives a hand pass from Merriman. Ablett goes to ground into the tackle. Over the top by Barry was good. Matthews. Game opening up a bit. O'Keefe on the end of the hand pass. Long towards Stevens. Back there goes Woolno. Stevens. Alloy. Street. Got in the way. Good work again by Roberts Thompson. The kick finds Chatfield another.
That was a beautiful pass, Ross.
The bloke was wearing the wrong coloured jumper.
He was.
Disappointing there by Kirk. Here is James Bartell. And coming a long way down the ground, the mark's taken by McCarthy. Closer to half-back. Well, look at the space out here for David Johnson. Returning from an ankle injury. He's kicked the centre half forward. Spills off to McPherson. His hand pass wide. Rose. Rose with Ablett. Ablett, well done. Good persistence.
Rolling.
Well done, Gary. He's not built like his father at all, is he? Hasn't got the height, hasn't got the bulk. Mind you, he's only young at this stage, but shares the name, but little else, really.
He's got that strong upper body. The leaning forward, look about him. In the middle, O'Brien trying to squirt it out. Cotchett, close to the line. Stevens, I think that's on the full. Well, Port just haven't got a goal this term. Phil Ryan Ablett shut down, 35 goals to the year. The next best, Eamon Buchanan, 14, and he's not playing. So, Alloy's got 10. Geelong 50. A little bit technical. O'Keefe bounced off his, a bit of a smile there. It's easy going. O'Brien didn't take possession. Was he held by Anstey? Bartell through the Ivan Needle. Good play, O'Brien. Had to get out of that. Didn't find a man. Where's the ball gone, says Luke Ablett. Mensch has got it. Here's Gary Ablett Jr. I don't know how that came out. McCarthy gets his foot to the ball, did he? And Riley sits underneath it.
Gee, what a minute of football this has been. And Blackney has lost it. Whistle, ball's coming back.
Yeah, he paid advantage then, realised that it was no advantage, and used discretion there, the umpire, which is good.
Free to Ryan O'Keefe. Well, Port need to get going. They haven't kicked a goal in this quarter, and we've been playing 20 minutes. Alloy up towards centre half forward. There's Ablett. Might have taken one over the shoulder. No whistle on the play. Play on, says the umpire, and now it'll be a ball up. Now, Port desperately need to get something out of this. It's on the right side of the ground for them. Umpire telling the runner to get out of the contest. There's enough in there. There's 30 in there. And Kirk takes clean possession, but didn't do him much good. What was that?
You know another rule, except my ball, I'll ball it up.
And runner, get out. Another ball up. Street wins it. It's been a real contest here in the last 5 minutes or so. Not much scoring. And terrific burst out of there by Foster. His kick up towards half forward. Oh, man at the back climbing and taking a terrific mark, Leo. He is a spring heel jack.
He sharped it.
Well, he plucks and he takes a risk of often Barry marking from behind.
Stevens took the mark further downfield, gave it up to Gergich. Good vision. Kick didn't find Ablett his target. Alloy. Anstey. Slips on the sand, but still managed to get a kick away, but not accurately. Foster. Out to Chatfield. Loose men galore here for Geelong. Johnson, Stephen, kicks to the lead of McCarthy. Good kick. Still he might get it. He does, but wrong side of the post. Gee, it was a good kick, though. So
is that the scoring end, Ross?
Well, it sort of appears to be on the weight of numbers, but I think the ball, the wind sort of almost across the ground.
Bartel off, replaced by Carazzo. This kick in is very close to out of bounds. Just bounces inside the line. What?
It's a penalty.
Oh, it wasn't touched.
Yeah.
Yep. So free kick just the same. Mensch looking into the sun. Barry can't take the mark. And his hand pass is blocked out of bounds.
Wrong signal, but right decision.
Yeah.
Kevin Mitchell will be noting that down, the umpire's advisor. Perhaps he's not in charge of the boundary umpires, Phil. Might have their specialist coach.
It's some job.
25.
Queuing up for that.
25 points the margin. It would appear too much for Port at this stage, and they certainly can't afford to concede any more goals late in this quarter. We're at the 23-minute mark, and the Borough just have to stop Geelong here.
.23 on the clock, you can see. Street. Unfortunately to Kirk. Well read, Carazzo on 50. Anstey holding him up. Not much space. There's just one to lead into. Now comes the lead, Johnson. Still calling for it. Mensch leads, then doubles back, you can see in the back of the picture. Carazzo allows for the breeze. Rod will go to the square, and big leap. That's a great mark from Mensch.
Well, that could be a candidate for the TXU power play of the day. The mark by Menchie.
He sort of came with a run, went up a bit early and managed to hang in there and take the grab against Seymour.
It should have been more blocking inside that square. Nice. Oh, he's hit up. No.
He hit the post, didn't he?
I didn't think so, did he?
Gee, what did it bounce off?
Oh, in a net, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. If you ever look at that, though, Drew, again, Mensch is always going to be dangerous, but you've got to block the bloke's run at the ball. And we saw, see, look where Mensch is. See, you could just spot that to the left of Mensch. The player alongside him is Seymour, is it?
Yes.
See, Seymour left him, didn't he?
Yes.
He left him. He should have, if he'd gone across him, run in front of him. These are set plays. and he doesn't take the mark.
Sydney or the bush.
I mean, it is really, that is terrible work. And that's, you know, David Dumbo's got to look at that. That's a set play done very poorly, and there have been 2 of those that have cost them goals. And they lose you the game. You could just see it so clearly there. I don't know what Seymour thought he was doing.
I prefer to look at it and say it was the mark of the day.
Oh, well.
Good play by Mensch.
It was, but
Phil would like some more illegal blocking.
no, well, but if you run in front of the bloke, it's quite legal. You know, you just cut his run off.
Gee, the Cats have worked it out of this Dickey situation really well. Slade, there was a bit of holding there. Mensch on Seymour, and Seymour will take the free kick. They've been paired off all day, these two. Seymour just over the centre circle. The ball knocked away well by Riley, and Geelong have the ball. Riley will get it back. He flips it up to Carazzo. Beautiful play by Riley. Carazzo steers the pass to full forward. Well,
Leo!
He hit it sort of sideways.
Get hold of it, Leo! Where you going?
Barry beats a couple and doesn't kick very well. In fact, a poor kick by Barry. That was thrown, says the umpire, against Blackney, and the Geelong crowd not happy with the umpire's decision. And Roberts-Thompson gets the free. He goes by hand to Anstey. Anstey kicks it well this time inside the 50. Ablett at the back. Ball punched down by Foster. Geelong have a chance to clear now. Foster again. And they're out of trouble. And Blackney, who just gave away a free kick, marks at right half-back.
He's got a lead from Ablett. Centre wing.
Clean, isn't he, with his hands, Ablett? And when he marked that ball, he was nice and clean.
In front of Roberts-Thompson. Kicks towards Mensch. Big strong grab first time. Powell's on. Got a quick hand pass. Riley pushing forward McMahon. Chatfield did it well. Might keep in play. And does. McCarthy. Oh, Powell. Oh, strong shirt front. That was fair and legal by Barry. McMahon don't get many opportunities. Anstey kicks towards Roberts-Thompson. In front was Blackney. Gives it to Riley. Now the chance. Street, one-on-one. But the breeze takes it away. Nick Gill should be able to gather or just seek the boundary line. Almost, Bill.
Oh, that's funny, isn't it?
Nick Gill featured in the Mark of the Year last year in the VFL.
By taking it or standing under it?
I don't know if he won it, but he took a mark in Optus Oval.
Oh.
McMahon. Matthews. Over half-back.
Gee, that ball's holding up going that way.
Sure is, isn't it? Yeah. Kick towards full forward. Street with his back to it originally. Down he goes. And the ball worked towards the boundary line by Cotchin.
My memory's coming back. Nick Gill was on Melbourne's list last year. He was playing for Sandringham at Optus Oval. It was a beauty.
So late in the third quarter, can't be far from the siren because we've only had 3 goals in this quarter. Port are goalless. Carazzo to the goal square. Seymour had the ball jolted out. And it's gone through for a minor score. So you would reckon this is the sort of lead that Geelong on a windy day will be able to protect in the last quarter. So second on the ladder, as you would expect, giving it to fourth on the ladder.
Brent Evans. Geelong have got the zone out and goes to Rose. No time for a second kick. 3 goals in the term of Geelong. Port, as Drew said, didn't manage one, and they face a deficit of 32 points at three-quarter time.
Well, they've struggled really, Port, from the word go. They just haven't been able to get the sort of fluency that we've seen in their game over the past month, where they've turned on some pretty good performances. They're struggling to find a target up forward. Ablett trying to play key position at full forward, virtually can't get hold of the ball. They're 5 out of it. Can they get back into the game? Can they get up in the last quarter? Well, it's a tough call, you'd reckon, but I've really got to say, a couple of set plays there, they've given away goals, marks by players where they should have covered them and they weren't working. Their Mensch was one of them, took a good strong mark, admittedly, but they should have covered. So they've got their work cut out, really. the Borough, but they are kicking to the scoring end of the right of screen, so you've got to rate them a chance. If they get a couple early, Drew, who knows? They might be in the game. They haven't played well. That's the good thing. They have not played well, and they've got a chance to maybe find a bit, and they could get themselves right back into it.
Absolutely. 32-point lead to the Cats at three-quarter time.